Hey guys, I want to talk about some hands-on experiences with the ROG Swift. It's the PG278Q. This is the 27-inch 1440, 144 hertz G-Sync display that ASUS and NVIDIA just released. There's some great reviews on the internet, and I'll go ahead and link to those. But there are some things that if you read one review versus the other, or even if you don't use it or have never really used a gaming monitor before, I think are worth mentioning. So the Swift is just that. It's really fast, great refresh rate, and has given me the best gaming experience I've ever had from the point of view of, 3D in that kind of moving in that kind of frame rate has a certain look that I just can't quantify, and no one can really explain unless you've actually tried it. But everything looks more 3D when the motion is so smooth, and everything just pops in a certain way. But there are some major drawbacks to this panel. It says it's an 8-bit panel with 8-bit processing behind the panel, which means that it's supposed to accurately be able to reproduce all the colors in sRGB, but even after I calibrated this monitor, in which the stats told me that it calibrated very well, it still has this look. There are issues with saturation that don't look very natural. Sometimes certain shades just don't seem right. Some shades of color seem overly saturated. And maybe this really sticks out to me because I've typically used IPS panels, but I can't let it go. The color reproduction is not perfect. Someone in a review, and I think it was a non-tech, said that it looks TN-y, and that's true. TN has a certain look, and this monitor supposedly has some of the best viewing angles of any TN panel, but the color shift is bananas. I can't find a single spot where I can sit in front of this thing where there isn't some sort of vertical color shift. It doesn't matter how high or low or how much I tilt the screen. On the desktop, there is no smooth, solid gradation from top to bottom. It cannot be done. If you use this monitor the majority of the time as a desktop monitor and not for gaming, it may be something you can't tolerate. I don't think I can. I think this monitor is going to end up going back for that reason alone, that how much I use the monitor for the desktop far exceeds how much I use it for gaming, but the gaming experience is so good, I just wish I could have my cake and eat it too. I'm so sold on IPS. Prior to picking up this monitor, I had the pleasure of using an LG 34UM95, which is one of those 21:9 1440 displays, and that was the greatest desktop experience I've ever had. But I would go so far as to say that although not as laggy as some other displays, it didn't have a true gaming mode and all this and that, but it was the best looking thing I've ever seen on the desktop. And I didn't realize when I was looking at it, and until I started looking at the Swift like an AB, that the Swift also doesn't really have any post-processing on the image, which is how the monitor can react so quickly to keep the refresh rate high and the input lag down and whatnot. The negative side effect is there's no post-processing on this display at all. So, it also looks really grainy, and unless you're running this thing in full res, and even when you're watching things like YouTube videos in 1080p or watching stuff on Twitch, the images are so grainy and you can see lots of artifacting in everything. And I guess I never really realized how much post-processing non-gaming monitors are really doing, and it was kind of an eye-opener that, at least for me, I'm not sure that I can move to just a gaming monitor as my only monitor. So I guess those are the things I kind of wanted to mention about the Swift. Make sure you're a pure gamer, that you're not going to have any regrets about, losing some image quality on the desktop and watching videos and things like that. And, I guess your mileage may vary, but the colors are a little wonky, and I'm not so sure that is exclusive to the Swift, and I feel like that's a TN panel issue, not so much an IPS thing. So that's all I really got to say about the Swift. I mean, other than that, this thing is great. Like, I can't say enough good things about just how amazing the 3D gaming experience is on this monitor, and just how great it looks. You know, how great it is to have a high refresh rate, you know, seeing things like even just your mouse pan across the screen, you know, when you're moving it, and the fluidity of every object and every window is incredibly, it's incredible. It's like nothing I've ever seen, but it's a give and take, and I'm still looking for that one monitor that does it all. You know, there's supposed to be some IPS G-Sync monitors coming down the pike soon, but we will have to wait and see. Thanks for watching.